Hi, my name is Margaret Copeland, and I would like to welcome you to our exhibition Meant to be Looked At, which is being displayed at the Convergence Gallery in the Hurley Convergence Center at the University of Mary Washington from April 6 to August 1st, 2023. Today we will be taking a look at one of Margaret Sutton's works, which is Untitled, Picasso-like family portrait from 1963. But first, let me tell you a little bit about Margaret Sutton. Margaret Sutton was an art student and earned her bachelor's degree in 1926 from Fredericksburg State Teachers College, which is now known as the University of Mary Washington. While during the 1960s, Margaret Sutton was staying with the Lovett family in France, as they were living in France at the time. Sutton was very good friends with the Lovett family and was very close with them as she lived with them for a while in New York City. Now let's take a look at the family portrait. Now, let's look at the picture. Margaret Sutton depicts the Lovett family possibly in an outdoor setting. From left to right, the picture consists of Alfred, Jerry, and their cat Pesties, which are the main focus. The figures have abstract faces with very distorted body shapes. Sutton depicts these figures as being long with skinny limbs. They also have color around certain regions of the figure's body, such as around Jerry's hat. It is also possible that Sutton took inspiration from the Cubism era of art, which will be discussed in the next part of the presentation. One of the most common motifs that can be seen on Sutton's work is the heart-shaped medallion around Pesties' collar. Another big motif that Sutton used in her work was her use of uneven fingers, which will be discussed later on in the presentation. As we look at the portrait of the Lovett family, one of the movements that Sutton uses as inspiration is the Cubism era. Cubism started in 1907 and continued until the end of World War I. It was created by George Braque and Pablo Picasso in France. Cubism work incorporates influences from Fauvism, which was another art style that uses extreme bright colors to portray the emotional light side. For example, Bridge over Bayou, which was created in 1906 by André Derain, which depicts a landscape, has bright, vivid colors. While Cubism uses elements from Fauvism, it also combines perspectives that are from the fourth dimension and breaks objects into geometric shapes. Many of the artists of Cubism include Pablo Picasso, Henry Taylor, and Patrick Bruce. One piece of art that could have inspired Sutton to create the family portrait is Pablo Picasso's Head of a Man with a Hat, which was created in 1912. This piece features a simple line drawing of a man whose face is made with cut pieces of newspaper and polygons for the eyes. This piece was also featured in an exhibition at MoMA called We Like Art in the 1940s, and again in the Art in a Changing World, 1884 through 1964 and 1964. One of the motifs that can be seen in Sutton's work is the use of uneven fingers, which is attributed to Picasso. This can be seen in the family portrait as Sutton depicts both Jerry and Alfred with uneven fingers. If you look closely at Alfred's hand, there are only 4 fingers on one hand, while on the other hand there are only 2 fingers. This can also be seen in 2 other works that are featured in the gallery. 2 other works in this exhibition. As mentioned before, we can see these 2 works in the exhibition. In the first piece, it depicts a figure that is riding on the railroad track through a colorful landscape. As you can see on the figure's hand, the figure has 5 fingers on one hand, has 5 fingers on both hands. Sutton also alternates between skinny and chubby fingers, which creates the uneven finger look. Whereas in the second piece of art, it depicts a woman sitting on a subway with a vibrant, colorful background. The figure in the picture has 2 fingers on one hand, while on the other hand, she has 3 fingers. In the end, Sutton's work depicts her family life with the Lovetts. She does this through playfully drawing the figures as she imagined them in her mind. She creates figures that are tall with very skinny limbs. She also depicts the strong relationship she had with the Lovetts, too. Although Sutton creatively draws the figures in the portrait, she may have intended her audience to take a closer look at her work.